What's good, everybody? What is good? Just want to make sure you can hear me real quick. There it is. We in there. What's up, big dog?
Hey man, it's your world, man. Hey, here to talk some Cowboys, man. Let's get it.
You know what it is. It's my guy Billy the Kid here in the building. Big game, James. Billy the Kid. The what we call the aftermath of the beatdown that we talked about. We said that was going to happen. We said it
Yeah.
was going to happen, Billy. So it ain't nothing we surprised about. Let me get a few shout outs before we get all the way in here, big dog. Of course, my boo thing is in there. My dog, the ninja, Tariq Salim, Jamal, Gus. Oh, what's up? He's hitting us up from LA to live and die in LA. Hey, we was out there. We was out there the end of July and August out there kicking it. Shout out to my dog Mel for showing us a good time out there in Cali. You know how we do. James, Gary, keep on coming on in here in the building. I love seeing everybody. Jameson Fox, Cowboy Nation, 4-1. We're feeling real good. We ain't trying to get crazy. You feel me, Billy? We ain't trying to get crazy
Yeah.
about it. But we are excited because you know what? We talked about in the pregame. We said Dallas, we feel good about Dallas beating teams they supposed to beat. We felt like
Yeah.
this one might be a little bit of a challenge early because it's the NFC and it's an NFC East game, but the better team should eventually win and take over, and that's what happened. Give me some quick thoughts on what you felt about the game and you know how it kind of went about.
Yeah, man. So you're spot on. That's exactly what we thought. Anytime you have a divisional game, you know that there's going to be challenges within it. But this Cowboys team, even with the Giants being at full strength, I know they weren't throughout the game, but even with them being full strength, always felt like this Cowboys team was at least, at minimum, a touchdown better than the Giants, and it showed up. They got off to a rough start, but man, ultimately, when you have a superior team to someone else, man, you're supposed to run it up. That's the sign of a good team, big game. I've always said that. You can't be a super talented team and play to the level of your competition. You might start off slow, but ultimately, you gotta, as the great Coach Yo said on Remember the Titans, man, you gotta run it up, leave no doubt, man, and that's what you have to do. That's what the Cowboys did, man. They're better than the Giants. They came out, took care of business, 4-1, moving on.
I mean, yeah, what you're supposed to do. And here's the thing. They interviewed Dak at the end of the game, and Dallas dropped 515 total yards in the game.
Right,
And
right.
they weren't even perfect. And you know, this is the sign of the good teams. This is the sign of what we call, I guess, I'm not going to say Dallas is a championship team right now, but it's looking like a very formidable team. But one of
Right.
the things as a formula for a championship team is when you play bad, and especially if you play bad early. Remember when we talked about, Billy, we get tired of seeing the Jason Garrett thing where it be Dallas would be playing good and then it'd be some fluky play and then all of a sudden the
Right.
team would get back in the game and then at the end of the game they kick a field goal or throw a long pass and then
Yeah.
you're like, man, I'm tired of seeing this stuff happen. The thing that I like about it is early on, I had people texting me, Billy. Had people
Uh,
hit me up. They were like,
yeah.
see, there it go. You know, we had the early interception with Dak Prescott, and then you had the fumble when you took it all the way down the field, and there was a fumble.
Yeah.
Back in the day when you had Jason Garrett, you're like, oh boy,
Here it comes.
here it comes. This is going to be one of them games today. It's going to be that game. But this is why I say it's the difference between the coaching staff and just the maturation of the team and the players.
Yeah.
Because you had those instances, and even when they got the 3 points, that was that was a touchdown Dalton Schultz should have caught. But
Right.
in all those things that happened, Dallas still, I know they lost Saquon Barkley. I know they lost Daniel Jones, and that was huge. That was huge. I can't lie and say it wasn't. It did make a little bit of a difference, I felt, in the game. But at the end of the day, Dallas still was the better team, and
Yeah.
and it would have eventually still shown because Dallas moved the ball at will on that Giants defense. There was never a time Dallas punted one time that game. There was
Right.
never a time that the Giants defense, I ever felt that the Giants defense was ever going to stop Dallas. So that in itself right there, I didn't feel like they was going to stop them. We just had to get the turnovers, and that eventually happened. Trevor Diggs got his interception. Anthony Brown got his interception returned for a touchdown. And once again, Dallas is winning in the turnover margin. They're still +7. And when you have those type of things, that's when you can say a team can maybe win a championship.
Yeah, yeah. I don't, I'm real careful about it, because you know how it is, man. We don't ever want to run off with it. In previous years, you win 2, 3 games in a row. Now we're championship ready. No, this team is still developing, still trying to find its identity. And I would question that to the people out there, and even to you, Big Game. What is the identity as you see it of this Cowboys team? Is this a running team? Is this a passing team? Is this just a balanced attack? What would you consider it? Or what do you
Well,
think is ultimately best
well,
trying to win a Super Bowl?
actually, I just made a post, and shout out to my dog David Jenkins. What's good with you? Keep on coming in the building. Make sure you hit that like button. Doesn't cost you anything. We're gonna have a big crowd in here, so let's get up in the building. But just to bounce off what you just said, what type of team I think it is? I think it's a balanced team, because if you watch the first game when Dallas played against the Buccaneers, Dak threw over 50 times. That wasn't the winning formula to me. I came in the season saying on multiple times in shows that I want balance. I don't want to see Dak throwing 50 times a game like he was doing last year and the things of that nature in 2019, just throwing the ball everywhere. Dak doesn't have to prove that. I already know Dak is a great quarterback now. He don't have to do that. So I was talking about balance, Billy. I was talking about Dallas got to have balance, because I don't want to see that. And guess what? After that first game, we overthrew over 50 times. Dak is through for I think 100, and he's had 104 attempts, and the rushing attempts have been 141.
Right.
Dallas is currently second in the league in rushing behind the Cleveland Browns with 172 yards a game at 5.3 yards a carry. Ezekiel Elliott's averaging 5.3 yards a carry. I think his highest, in his career. Tony Pollard, I think, is still up to close to 6 yards a carry.
Right.
So that right there, I think Dak is averaging about between 265 and 270 yards a game passing. I like that. And the last 3 games you've seen him, he was under 40 attempts, 35 attempts. Actually, he had 32 attempts this past game. I think he had 25 attempts. And then before that, it was only less than 20. So he hasn't had to go out there and throw all those times. But when he is throwing, they're lasers. They're passes that mean something, and it getting them down the field. Whether it's dinking or dunking, or you see how he can quick strike it with the CD Lamb over the top over Bradbury.
Yeah, yeah. I would say this, man. When I look at this Cowboys team, they're getting it done on both sides of the ball. I've seen a lot of people be critical of the Cowboys defense, and it's so funny to me, Big Game. They always ask, well, what happens when the Cowboys defense doesn't create turnovers? They're giving up all these yards. I don't understand the relevance of that question, because it's what they're doing right now. They are taking the ball away. And there's nothing that tells me that they're not going to continue to do that. It's in the defensive scheme. It's how they're taught to play. They're running. They're punching at the ball. They're trying to get it on the ground. When the ball is in the air, you have 2 cornerbacks, one in Anthony Brown, one in Trevon Diggs, that both feel like the ball is theirs. Now, we all can say that Anthony Brown is not the same level of cornerback that Trevon Diggs is, but he's taking advantage of it.
But he is playing better. But he is playing.
Yeah, exactly. And I have to look. I was as critical of Anthony Brown as anyone. Game 1, when he was getting torched by Antonio Brown, I was like, oh no, we got to do something better. But you know what, man? One thing we understand about football is, as the year progresses, guys do have the tendency to get better. You have to get reps. You have to figure out what's going on. They're all in a new defense for the first time. And it's like, let these guys grow and develop. I do want to see them upgrade that cornerback position. But Anthony Brown, I don't think we can sit there and look at him and say, oh, he's the worst thing on earth. I don't think he's the second best corner on a championship caliber team. But it would be asinine to say that he's not playing better from where he started. And that's all we can ask is progression.
Yes, and I just bouncing off that. Shout out to my sis, Miss Charles out there, she's always going hard. Jim Laws, my dog, Tyrone Church, Tavis Banks, all my peoples in the building. Keep on coming up in here. But just bouncing off that, remember the Cowboys when they got Kevin Smith? And I'm not trying to compare this team to the 90s, but remember
Sure.
when they had Kevin Smith before they got Dion? And Kevin Smith was a dang good corner, right?
Yeah, he
We was
was.
loving
Yep.
Kevin Smith. They had a guy on the other side that was like a 12th round draft pick. Nobody was even talking about him.
Right.
His name was Larry Brown.
Yeah,
Okay?
I remember.
Now we got Anthony Brown. You got Larry Brown. Larry Brown was not a great corner by any means, but guess what? When he played with that team and he played within that concept, he played pretty good. He had some good games. I mean, his games he played got him a big contract somewhere else. You get what I'm saying? So he played in his role, and this is what I'm saying. Shout out to Joe Chanchino. What's up with you? But this is what I'm gonna say about Anthony Brown. I ain't saying Anthony Brown has like turned the corner in my opinion, because I feel like he still get picked on, because I think there was a first two plays Daniel Jones actually overthrew John Ross, and if he threw a nice pass, that was a touchdown because Anthony Brown was beat. So it was like, you know what? Okay, but if I look at the targets, it was 8 targets, only 2 receptions. When I see his pass rating per Pro Football Focus, I know that's not the end all, but the stats are real. So, I mean, he had an 80 pass grade rating, and he had the interception for the touchdown, and he was one of the leading tacklers on the team since week 1. He's been one of the top tacklers on the team, and he's been a sure tackler. So, as much as we can malign the players for not doing something, we have to say, hey, when they're doing good, we got to step up and say, hey, they're stepping their game up. So I'm going to have to give Anthony Brown props for stepping his game up.
Sure.
And guess what? The locker room seems to know that the talk is going around about Anthony Brown, because when I seen Anthony Brown come off on his interception, a lot of people were giving him dap, hitting him on his head. Dak was one of the first people to meet him. I feel like a lot of people within the team, they see that noise that the fans are saying. They hear that noise, and I feel like they're really supporting him. And at the end of the day, that's what you really want. You don't care about that noise on the outside. You want to hear on that inside, and as long as your team is still banging with you, as long as your team is still fighting with you, like, man, don't be listening to that noise out there. We got your back. That's all that matters. And as long as I see them doing that with Anthony Brown, to me, it gives you confidence. It gives you confidence to play better when your team believes in you. Who cares what them people say? Because a lot of them people don't know football. But these guys in here are banging here because a lot of people couldn't even coach a football if they even saw one. So that's not the noise that matters. It's that noise in here. And I feel like that's the culture that's changing that Dan Quinn brought. I feel like a lot of the people bought into it because when you listen to him, he just seems real. And when you feel the realness, it's going to gravitate. And not only him being real, Billy, he's a good coach. So when you mix in with you being a good coach and you're real, it's a good combination. And I feel like it's really growing. And just to bounce off what you're saying, what if the Cowboys don't get turnovers? I feel like it doesn't matter because Cowboys have team speed on defense now. Cowboys have depth. So they may not get turnovers that game, but they're going to create a lot of pressure. I mean, in that game against them Giants, they had, how many pressures did they have? I think they had like 25 pressures.
Yeah.
They had 25 pressures in that game against the Giants. No sacks, but they had 25 pressures, 18 hurries, 17 hits on the quarterback, and Randy Gregory himself had 9 pressures, and he was acting like an animal in that game. When you have pressures, it still matters, and that matters most because at the end of the day, it makes the quarterback get the ball off earlier. How do you kind of feel about the defense's performance against the Giants?
Man, I thought the defense played very well, considering the fact that the offense got off to I'm not going to say a slow start, but the offense had a couple of cheap turnovers. And the defense stepped right in, man. It was like, hey, don't worry about it. We got you covered. We're going to get the ball right back. And to your point, the pressures from Randy Gregory. They were getting pressure up the middle. Also, Diggy Zua. Big game. We might have struck gold with this guy. This guy.
That's not a mic. That's not a mic.
He might have got it. Yeah.
Gold.
This guy, man, he is nasty in the middle, man. He's showing up with bad intentions. He's moving guards, running backs, fullbacks, anything you try to chip in with. This guy's moving around, and he's so athletic, man. I don't think people understand that. And he's getting after the quarterback, getting guys off the spot. I think ultimately, when it comes down to the Cowboys defense, I think that pressures, a lot of time people don't understand it. We want to look at defensive ends like Randy Gregory and DeMarcus Lawrence and say, oh, he's not getting sacks. Sacks is not the end all on the defensive side of the ball. You want sacks, that's great. But pressure makes the quarterback get the ball out quicker. That makes Trevon Diggs look better when he jumps routes. Makes Anthony Brown when he jumps routes. Your linebacker can see things and react quickly. When the ball is coming out quick by way of your pressure, the quarterback is not throwing it where they want to, and they're not throwing it in the rhythm that they want to. And that works well towards your defense. So as long as they keep up pressure, Dan Quinn has these guys flying all over the field. They're tackling well. I didn't like so much how they tackled Kadarius Toney. They seem to have a tough time with him. But
he's
overall,
a good player, though.
Yeah, he is. He's a little.
I mean, I see why he won the first round. Yeah, I mean, he's a good player, man.
He's a little joystick, man. But and you're gonna have tough times with those little nimble guys like that. But I tell you what, just overall, man, what they did, they really just put the Giants in a bad way. I mean, injuries aside, the Cowboys defense was just all over the place in that game, and I can appreciate that.
Let's get some questions in here while we're talking about this as well. And I really appreciate what you said, and I agree with a lot of you said. Now, we ain't going to be – this ain't the We Agree Club, but daggone if we agree, we ain't going to disagree just because
right.
Just to make a show. You feel me?
Yeah.
So, but here's a question here from – let me see what the name is.
It's like RB Nightmare.
RB Nightmare. How do y'all feel about the whole coaching staff after 5 games? Well, I got to remember let me preface it. I feel good about the coaching staff. Number one, I already love Kellen Moore. I ain't never steered from that. I was always on the Kellen Moore train. Philbin, I liked how he stepped up last year and did things that you never seen before, moving Zach Martin over to right tackle and shuffling the way he did. And guess what? Terrence Steele played bad, so obviously, and he's played better, but he did some off-season work for sure. But obviously, Philbin has done his job. So I definitely want to give Philbin props. Connor McGovern, I love him and how he's done. I mean, Connor Williams has played well. I mean, Biadasz has continued to grow in the position. So I like him. And then when we talk about the receiver, the receivers coach, what's his name? What's the receivers coach?
I'm trying to think of who it is, man. I really it doesn't strike me. It doesn't.
He came over from the Browns because he used to. I think it might be Greg something. He used to coach Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry, and I really like his addition. I love his addition. If y'all can give me the name of him, because I know y'all do, be my name person. The receivers coach came over from the Browns. Henry, I think his name is Henry. I like him. And then when we talk about on the defensive side, pull up that you guys that are in the building. Pull up that defensive line coach, because remember, I think he's a rookie. I don't know if he's a rookie or a second year, but he's really young at this position. And people were talking about, hey, is he going to be able to do this? This guy coming out of nowhere, ain't nobody know him. And
are we talking about the guy with the accent?
Yeah, he's from overseas.
Adur something. I'm looking it up right now as we go.
Yes, so he's been a godsend, can we not say? I mean, look at how the defensive line is played. It's second in the league in rushing defense. It's second in the league in rushing defense. I mean, I'm sorry, it's not second in the league. It's 5th in the league in rushing defense. Teams are only averaging 79.4 yards a game against the Cowboys, 4 yards a carry, but that's 5th ranked. And I don't think these are mirage rushing stats, because remember, even 2014, Dallas had, I believe, the number 1 rushing defense. They were only letting up about 96 to 98 yards a game, but it was deceiving because that offense stayed on the field, and then they were getting up by 14 points, and then them teams had to get out of their game. So I think it was deceiving because they didn't have the greatest defense in 2014. They got a lot of turnovers, though, and I think that was helping them. But Billy, this defense is a lot better than that 2014. So I think this run defense is legit. So I got to give that defensive line coach props. Linebackers coach. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry, by the way, the first name you were looking for was Adam Henry. He's the receivers coach.
Adam Henry, yes.
Yep, and then on the defensive side, that's Aiden Durde, Durde, is the defensive line coach with the accent. And he has those guys firing off that ball. Those guys are ready to play. And then his assistant is Cowboys great Leon Lett. So, I mean, you're not lacking anything in that defensive coaching room.
You're not lacking in that room. And then even George Edwards, who came over from Minnesota, he's done a hell of a job with the linebackers. And then you jump into the secondary. That's who you got to really give, because people were hating on Al Harris.
Yeah,
I like the pick. When they picked up Al Harris, I like the pick. I said, he had a little bit of his way, but you know what? It was what it was. Maurice Link he's gone. So we got
right,
to give hella props to the Joe Witt acquisition,
right,
because guess what? He was familiar with Dan Quinn before. That did really help, and I think that's what's really made this secondary come up. Even though it's second to last in passing defense, it's opportunistic, and I think a lot of those times those are the garbage stats that they're saying at the end of
right,
the games, where you're seeing these big yards and it kind of knocks the Cowboys down. So I
right.
think the defense secondary has played a lot better, especially with the additions that they had.
I would agree. I would agree, man.
So let's get some few more questions. My guy Jim Laws, shout out to him. He's been a faithful member of the clan and the crew. He says, and he's an Iowa Hawkeye fan like no other. He's out there in that Iowa boys. He's an Iowa guy. I made a video about Ghost, and he got on me. He like, hey, see, you hating on Ghost. And I said, I ain't hating. I said, I ain't hating, Jim. I ain't hating on Ghost. And I just said, I just feel like this. And I feel like it's true in my opinion, but I like Ghost. I ain't never
Yeah,
said I didn't like Ghost. I said the thing I said about Ghost, and I won't run away from it. I felt like, is he a top 100 player because y'all drafted him in third round? Maybe you overdraft him, because when I watched him on the outside, he didn't really have a lot of pass rush moves. They were basic. He was better sliding inside because he was versatile,
right.
and that's what he was really good at. But they called him like a baby D Law. I said, okay, hey, y'all may know more. Y'all know more than me. Let's do it. He's come in with no preseason, no nothing, no
No
camp, no
work.
nothing, and he's
Right.
coming in been going nuts. I mean, he had like 8 tackles in a couple games, had a couple pressures before. He's versatile. You can slide him inside, you can move him outside, and I
Yeah.
believe the experience that he's getting right now, being able to play with D Law out, is tremendous for him, and I think he's going to be huge down the line. So yes, I feel great about Golston. I was wrong when they were talking about overdrafting him in that third round. I thought it was a reach, because I thought he need to get better with his pass rushing moves. But he's going to be a good player. I don't know if about a great player, but he's going to be definitely a good player in this rotation. What's your thoughts about Ghost?
Man, I like Golston, man. I mean, the fact that, again, the most amazing thing about him is, again, he got no work in training camp, no work at all. And this guy just came fresh off the bench and just playing, I'm not going to say out of his mind, man, but big game for a guy who's coming into the league as a rookie. No NFL experience. You missed a whole preseason. And you come right out and you just hop in. It really is another. We need to attribute this to Dan Quinn again. He has these guys feeling very comfortable in their roles and what they're supposed to do. So when they get out there, they don't have to think much. It's just get out there, and football is natural to these guys. I love it, man. I love it. As he gets more playing time and more opportunities and repetitions out there on the field and live game action, he's only going to get better.
I definitely feel he's definitely going to get better, and it's going to be interesting when D Law comes back. How he fits in the rotation, where they're going to be able to play him. You still got Bradley and I in the mix. You got a lot of guys that can come out waves, and that's the biggest thing. It's different when you're bringing guys off the bench and they're not really going to make a difference. It doesn't matter if you bring them off the bench. You're just bringing them off the bench just to let people get some rest, but those other guys are coming back in because really those bench players aren't doing anything for you. Now the Cowboys actually have a bench and depth that actually, when they come on the field, when DeMarcus Lawrence will go out now and Ghost comes in, it ain't a drop off. It ain't like, oh, Lord, here we go. They're going to run down the field now because he had to take a break and take off 2 plays, and then they go exploit the player that just comes in. They don't have that problem anymore, and that's what I get excited about. I got a question from my person, Pee Wee, up in here. They always come in with it. How do you feel about Jabril Cox? I mean, come on, you shouldn't even ask that question, dog. Everybody loves Jabril Cox. We just all been waiting for him to get on the field. I feel like that's why that Jalen Smith thing may have happened as well. We saw Daniel Jones take the concussion. We ain't blaming it on Cox because Daniel Jones left with his head. But the thing I saw was that closing speed.
Yeah.
If you had a Jalen Smith, he doesn't make that. Maybe he did that a few years ago against Deshaun Watson, but he had enough time to do it. This was quick reaction, instant, and he jumped on that quick. Woo, 6'4", 231. He can play at multiple positions. What do you feel about Cox? I feel great because Dan Quinn said he's going to get more reps on third down.
Well, that's good, man. Of course, defensively, you want to get all the size, length, and speed out there as you can on every down. But third down being a critical down, gets you on and off the field, you got to have him. And to your point about that particular play, he got sucked into the inside thinking it was a run initially. And when he saw it, I mean, he made a beeline out, just straight line out down that down the goal line, and got there and made the play. And when he got there, he made the tackle. He arrived with bad intentions. And I know, again, he's not there to hurt Daniel Jones, but man, I'm happy to know we have guys that can run to the football, and when they get there, they can make the tackle, man. And again, that guy hasn't even played that much this year. So it's going to be really exciting to see him get out there and get some playing time.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I like to see what Dan Quinn's going to do with them because it was a great pick, 4th round. And here's the thing: everybody was saying it was a steal, so they felt like he should have been drafted higher. And if you're drafted higher, you probably would have been playing earlier on other teams.
Right.
So it's a luxury that the Cowboys aren't even have to play him like that, and they can bring him along slowly. You still got Luke Gifford in the fold that's 6'3", 6'4", athletic as hell. You just got a lot of pieces and a lot of athletic players on defense with a lot of team speed. And that's what you need for a defense and team speed, and they're cheap. Those are keys, man. I'm telling you, when you talk about a championship team, those things happen. So I got another question from my dog, Joe Tranchino. Been a faithful supporter for a lot of years out there in Italy. Shout out to you. He's always banging, giving great questions. He says, when Collins comes back from suspension, was still playing so good, should he get his job back? I'm gonna let you answer that first.
You know what, man? Shout out to Terrence Steele. He's been playing a lot better, especially opposed to last year. What you have coming back is an all-pro right tackle. You can't just leave him on the bench. I understand Terrence Steele has been playing good. I understand the idea of not unity, but the chemistry. But, man, you got to give La'el Collins his position back. He upgrades the right tackle position. But what you can rest in is that in the event that La'el Collins gets hurt, God forbid, you have someone who has gotten better, and we've seen it, and we know he can step in and play it, and play it at a decent, at a decent position, if you want to say that. I mean, he's okay for what we have over there, but without question, La'el Collins comes back. You have to plug him back in there. That's only going to make that run game more formidable to the right side. I mean, you got Collins and Martin on one side, and then if Connor Williams can continue to play well at that left guard, and him and Tyron Smith on that left side, and Biotish can ever be anything in the middle, man, that offensive line should be able to roll grade people, man, be able to run at will. And so that's why you have to get La'el Collins back out there.
Yeah, I'm once again agree with you on that. I mean, Terrence Steele, he's a swing tackle. He's not a starting tackle. He's a swing tackle, and that's what you want. You want a guy that can be able to come right off that bench if you have a situation, and that's once again the luxury that the Cowboys haven't had. And when you're trying to win a championship, you have to have a bench. You have to have depth. And you can't just have a bench. You got to have bench players. When they come off the bench, there's not a drop-off. That's when you say you become a championship team. And that's what I'm saying from the Cowboys. I'm not saying they're championship yet, but what I am saying, they have those makings and formulas of it, especially with the young, aggressive defense.
Sure.
But bouncing off that question, La'el Collins definitely should get his job back. He, like you said, he was a all-pro tackle, or at least a Pro Bowl type tackle. I mean, we saw what he did when he switched over to the position. Even in the Tampa Bay game, he hadn't had the greatest preseason, but he played pretty good in that Tampa Bay game.
Yeah.
Against that defensive line that was pretty formidable. So, no, La'el Collins gets his job back. Terrence Steele goes back to the bench. But the great thing is he's already got more experience. He's already played really good. So now if something never does happen, he can come right back in there and not be shell-shocked because he was in there balling. And that's the great thing about this. That's the whole great thing about this. And that's what makes this team good. And that's what makes it sneaky formidable going down the line. Now, I got a few more other questions. My guy, Pee-wee says, do you think Diz can win MVP or Defensive Player of the Year? I'm going to answer this first, Billy. I don't care about that. That's just me. I don't care if he wins Defensive Player of the Year. I don't want no distractions.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? See, it's all, hey, I love Diggs getting these interceptions, but let's not just keep talking about that and it becoming a distraction from what the Cowboys are trying to do.
The
The
main
ultimate
goal.
thing is to win a championship and get a Super Bowl.
Right.
I don't care about Diggs winning Defensive Player or MVP. Let all that talk go somewhere else. Let them talk about that. In that locker room, the one goal is this: we need to win a Super Bowl. Can he
Yeah.
win it? Okay, he could win it, but I don't care for him to win it. I want them to win a Super Bowl, and that's what should be the goal right now.
Absolutely. I'd have to second you on that, man. And the great thing is we're out here on the outside saying this. I think Trevon Diggs feels the exact same way. You
Mm-hmm.
can hear it in his interviews. He doesn't give a damn about any of that stuff. It's
Mm-hmm.
great to get these numbers. Yeah. It's great when in terms of talking a contract extension and things like that, those are things you can use as ammunition to get your numbers up. But man, ultimately, Trevon Diggs has said nothing about that. He wants his interceptions to contribute to them winning games, which will ultimately get them in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's continuing to ball like that throughout the playoffs and someone comes along with him, then we're talking about winning playoff games and ultimately a championship. So shout out to Trevon Diggs. He's not even eating the cheese on his own damn self, you know. He know big game. One thing I know about football, man, and some of these athletes, man, when you know you're good or when you're used to being good, all those accolades and all that talking means nothing. You already been knowing that.
Right.
You've been knowing that. So
Right.
that doesn't mean anything. That's for the sports reporters. That's for your local media to love and talk about. Those are 30-minute talking segments on the radio. Trevon Diggs knows he's good. So we don't have to talk about that. He wants to do what's best to help this team win and continue to move forward.
Yeah, and when you're coming from Alabama, used to winning championships and having
Yeah.
that championship pedigree, that's what you want.
Yeah.
When you come from a winning program, you want to win games. That's what you ultimately care about because that's
Yeah.
what you are used to. You are used to winning games, and that's what matters more than anything. Because them accolades ain't gonna mean nothing at the end of the day because they don't. You know what? When you watch a lot of these players in the beginning of their careers, they're all geeked about that stuff. Yes, they go into press clippings. They're 21, 22 years old. But when you start looking at them players after they played 3 or 4 or 5 years in the league, they don't care about that no more. They want a Super Bowl, and they want to find a team that's going to use that. And so when their next contract comes up, instead of a lot of them, okay, I could go after this big money, but who's closer to winning a championship?
Right.
I might take a little bit less if I can have it. No, I could probably win a championship because that's what you play for. That's what you play for. You didn't play when you played in little league. When you played in high school, you
play
weren't
for the
getting
money.
You didn't get money. You played to win championships. You played to win games, and you played to hold that trophy up. That's the main thing that you play for, and that's what should be the goal right here. And I think when I look at this team, it's not being sidetracked. It's not being, this is going to happen now, Billy. Now everybody's going to be talking about the Cowboys. They're going to be all in the news. So now this is where we really need to see about the coaching staff, Billy.
Yeah.
This is where we really need to see about the leadership, Billy.
Yep.
And the growth of the team. Because guess what? Everybody's patting their Cowboys on their back now.
Yeah.
Everybody's saying, oh, Cowboys are back. Cowboys are this. Cowboys are back. How can they handle success? We haven't seen this staff. We've seen how Jason Garrett and them, how they handle success. But now we haven't seen McCarthy and them. So now I want to see how the leadership really works now. The dynamic of the leadership from the Dak Prescotts and the other guys and the Mike McCarthys, because now you're 4-1. Everybody's talking about you're one of the top teams in the NFC. They're going to talk about Super Bowl because it is the Dallas Cowboys.
Right.
Now I really need to see what's going to go on from here because it needs to be game by game. New England is next, not
exactly
the Super Bowl. New England is next.
Yeah.
And you're going there. So that's what you need to be worried about. And that's what I hope the focus still stays with this team.
Well, I think with the leadership on this team as currently constructed, be it Mike McCarthy, obviously Dak Prescott, your defensive leaders, be it Micah Parsons, whoever you consider to be a leader on this football team, the message all has to be the same. We're going into New England. Our next trip is Foxborough. We're nowhere near California where the Super Bowl is being played. We don't need to worry about any of that stuff. Can we go 1-0? I know it seems cliche. Every team says, oh, we need to go 1-0 this weekend. But the Cowboys really need to buy into that. We're not 2 weeks down the road. Let the fans do that. We're all looking at the schedule. Oh, we should be 8-1 by the time we run into this and all that. No, let's be 1-0 this week against the New England Patriots. That's the mindset. And I think the team has that. And as long as the team has that inside of the star out in Frisco, big game, we're in great shape. We're in great shape.
Yeah, I definitely feel like we're in great shape. Like I said, I'm not really tripping. Montana, what's up with you, dog? You always want to go back and forth. I don't. You know what? I believe this team is focused, but we'll see. It's only 5 games in the season. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm not jumping up there and saying anything right now. I'm taking it week by week and anything, just like everything else, because anything can change in NFL. Injuries can change a lot of things. So you still got to be, hey, it's week to week. But let me get a few more questions up here. I got a question from my dog Pee Wee. Says, how do you feel us going up against the Chiefs team after after the bye bad this year? I mean, I'm gonna keep it real. When I looked at the Cowboys schedule, Cowboys can really run the table when I look at these teams that they play, because yes, they got Pat Mahomes, but the Chiefs, they're okay on defense. They have a lot of names, but they're okay. That's not a defense that can't stop the Cowboys. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And guess what? Dallas has the team speed to match up Patrick Mahomes. Now Tyreek Hill is a different player. I ain't know if they
Yeah.
got that type of speed.
Yeah.
He's
No,
different.
we
I
ain't
ain't
got
saying
that.
that.
Yeah.
They ain't got that. But we do have the athletes that I feel better about that they haven't had in years past. And as long as you have that, I feel like you have a chance. So I'm not really worried about the Chiefs. I'll definitely like to see how the matchup goes. But it's definitely not a game that the Cowboys can't win.
Yeah. I don't see a game the remainder of this schedule that looks at it that I look at and be like, you know what? Yeah, that's a for sure tough game. We're going to lose that. I don't see that because this Cowboys team is playing very well. Now, will they lose a couple of games the rest of the season? Probably. It's the NFL, man. You never know what's going to happen. But there's not a single matchup the rest of the schedule I look at and be like, I'm scared of that team.
Right.
And it's been a long time since I've been able to say that as a Cowboys fan. It's like, I don't know. Any of these teams, especially the Chiefs, I think the Chiefs were the team that everybody was fearing and
Right.
had them down as a for sure loss. But you look at it, man, they're not good defensively. They have Patrick Mahomes, but him, just like every other quarterback, you get pressure on him, you change what he can do. And the Cowboys are showing that they're able to do that. So, again, I don't even want to get that far down the line, man. What's up with Mac Jones and those Patriots? That's what I'm concerned about right now.
Right. And definitely because it's any given Sunday, so anything
Yeah.
can happen. Shout out to RB Nightmare. He has a question. He says, is there anyone right now worth trading for? How much are you paying? Maybe get some cornerback, some center, cornerback, or defensive tackle help. Me personally, Billy, I'm good. We don't need that. There's no reason to trade for anything. I mean, you're rolling right now. You
Mm.
got guys coming back. You got Leo Collins right around the corner. You got Michael Gallup right around the corner.
Right.
Once again, there was another game where nobody had any major injuries. That's what I'm looking at every single game. And then on the defensive side, you got Gallimore getting ready to come back. I mean, I know they said another maybe 2 to 4 weeks. D Law's coming back. Keanu Neal's already come back. I don't feel they got the kid Isaiah Johnson, I believe. He's on the practice squad. Kelvin Joseph is right around the corner. I seen him make a little tweet, so that maybe he's ready to go. So, in my personal opinion, I don't think they need to go out and get any kind of help because you got what you need right now. So why kind of rock the boat? Are you still there, big dog?
Yeah, I don't see a reason to go out and yeah. Oh, I can hear you.
Okay, go ahead.
Um, yeah, I was going to say I don't see a reason to go out and move anything. I think the most popular thing that I hear people talk about is moving Michael Gallup because of the fear of losing him. Here's my thing on that. Michael Gallup is coming back. He'll be healthy. Why not add another explosive element to your offense? Why not? You're talking about an offense that's already unstoppable, as people call it. Man, you add Michael Gallup to that, man. You're not going to find teams across the league that can match up with your 3 receivers. That most teams don't have 3 corners that can do that. So why not, in an offense where Kellen Moore is calling plays out of his mind, why not add another piece? There's no reason to move anything. If a major injury came up or something, we had to look at it. Okay. But just to do it just because, we might lose him in free agency, I think that's dumb, man. Stay with what you got, all in. If you feel like your team is good enough to compete for something big, don't subtract things just for the hell of doing it. Go with what you have. I like Michael Gallup being here. I don't see a reason to trade or move anything.
Yeah, I'm definitely not moving Michael Gallup during the midseason. I had
Yeah,
talked
no
about
reason.
him. I talked about you could possibly move him during the draft or things of that nature before the season started. But now you're in the season, you roll with it. You're trying to get a championship now, so you use every piece that you can to get you a
Yeah,
championship. And he's an added piece that can help you get over the hump. He's a
yeah,
deep threat. He's a guy that can do a lot of things. So no, I'm not definitely not moving no Gallup for no sake of just doing it. And Stephen Jones ain't gonna do that anyway, especially the way this
yeah,
team is rolling. Stephen Jones ain't doing nothing like that. So
yeah,
yeah, let's figure it out at the end of the season. I think they're going to be talked. Those talks are going to be talked about with D Law. Those talks are going to be talked about with Michael Gallup. He's up for free agency. I mean, we're talking. If anything, you need to be talking about Dalton Schultz because he's up. Okay, because he's in the same class as Michael Gallup, so he's coming up. Also, not it's Gallup, Connor Williams, Dalton Schultz. Those guys are coming up, and then even Randy Gregory. But that Schultz, you probably need to be looking at extending him. Michael Gallup, I don't know if he's going to be here beyond because it's not just because Cedric Wilson has stepped up, and it's not because they got Noah Brown. I just feel like they're not going to pay that kind of money for another receiver, and you got CeeDee Lamb, and you can draft other receivers because receivers are always going to be plentiful in the draft.
yeah, yeah. That's true.
That's the reason why.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
I agree with it 100%, man. I love to see Michael Gallup here long term. I think he means a lot to this offense, but ultimately, as you say, receivers, they're a dime a dozen, as people like to say, and you could go and get them. And in this type of wide open offense, you could go find another guy like Michael Gallup. You could find another speedster. You know, those guys are available. So we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, we'll see where it goes. And let's continue to get them likes up, especially on the YouTube on the Facebook. Let's share out there. But we got about 100 in the building right now on YouTube.
Yes, sir.
It's really cracking, and we really appreciate that. But guess what? And I know when you come in the building, it's easy to forget to hit that like button because you're just in it. You're just listening to everything. You're not paying attention. But if you're in the building and you haven't hit that like button right now, we got 107 in the building, only like 37 likes. Let's get those likes up and let's make that pop and let's make that happen. We really appreciate you being in the building. We really thank you. And hey, it doesn't cost anything to hit that like button on either side. So go ahead and do that. We definitely appreciate that. And I'm going to get a question here from Mr. James Nooks, a.k.a. Cowboys Junkie. He says, hey, big game. Do you think we should use Diggs at receiver on certain plays? Hell to the no. Why? There's no reason to do that. There's no reason at all to play him at receiver. Now listen, and now if you looked at the videos I made of Trevin Diggs, I made like 2 or 3 videos. In the video last year, and I said in high school he was a dog at receiver. He was an all-state receiver. When he came to Alabama, they kept him at receiver and he was doing punt returns. But then he made the switch. Saban told him to make the switch. The receiver skills never went. You see how much of a playmaker he is. Let's keep him over on that side of the ball. Dallas already got plenty of receivers. You don't need to be throwing them in no gimmicks. Now, when people say, hey, big game, you talked about having CeeDee Lamb on punt return, though, but this is a different situation because he don't got to play it at all. He plays defense. Right. So keep him there, and let's keep him being great over there.
Yeah, I saw the ESPN thing, and they were talking to him about playing offense and all that different stuff. And it's like, this is where we get confused, and this is where we start messing up as Cowboys fans. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, man. We don't need to be trying to – the offense is good as it is. We don't need to add no surprise elements to it because we'll be devastated if we put him in for one play and somebody blows him up and then he's out. We'll be devastated. So we don't even chance that. Let him play where he plays. His idea of being a receiver and his dreams of being a receiver can be realized sometime other than now. Right now, we need him on the defensive side of the ball. Let's not jinx anything or mess anything up here.
Yeah, that it just really, to me, it just doesn't really make any sense to do it. But I want to look at a couple of things here. One of the reasons that to me, you have a championship team or a championship level team is certain things. Third downs, fourth downs, and red zone. And one of the things I want to talk about, Billy, is people, I keep on bringing it up because they were bashing Kellen Moore. I didn't like it. They kept on bashing Kellen Moore. Right now, Dallas has the second rated total offense in the league once again. when Dak has been healthy and has been Kellen Moore, they have had a top 5 defense pretty much every year those two have been together. Wow. That's all I got to say about that. And then when I go with just team as the I just talked about with third down conversions and fourth down conversions and red zone defense, red zone offense. When I look at the Cowboys, 51% third downs.
That's huge.
50% on fourth downs. And still in week 5, 60%.
Yeah.
60% on red zone conversions, and the defense on third downs is giving up, I think they're only converting 35% now on third downs. Now, they are converting 60% and over on fourth downs and things of that nature, but on third downs, which is huge, Billy, they're getting the teams off the field on third downs, and that is huge.
Big game. I said it before the season started. I said the real identifier on this defense in terms of how well they're playing is when they get the third down situations, can they get off of the field? Can you create 3 and outs? You can't let offenses sustain drives converting 3 or 4 third downs over the course of a drive. But where's your defense down? You got to be able to get them off the field. Keep them in third and medium to long, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, and longer are good situations to be in. Normally on a 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, quick little dump out to the tight end or running back will get you a first down. But you want the quarterback to have to drop back, read the defense, and throw the ball into a hole. And the Cowboys are doing a very good job of getting off the field. Hopefully that will continue. That pressure will only make that more difficult of a situation for the opponents. And I think that's the way they got to go. They're doing a good job of it. We're going to see if they can sustain this for the remainder of the season.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting thing. But like I said, the good thing that I feel about, and I don't want to harp on it because you worry about the jinxing, but Dallas has been relatively healthy. I know they had a few injuries, but like I said, you rather have those injuries happen early than late. You rather get those guys hurt if they're going to get hurt in week 1 and week 2, because guess what? If it's not a major injury, like I said, you got Gallimore coming back right around the corner. You got Hank Lawrence coming back right around the corner. Leo Collins, Kelvin Joseph, Michael Gallup. I mean, these are not just regular pieces. These aren't just guys, these aren't just little pieces that are coming back. These are major pieces. The thing that bothers me right now, though, the biggest thing that's bothering me, I can say just popped in my head right now. Tristan Hill, man.
Yeah, where's that guy?
That situation has just disappointed me because I think he had a guy in Dan Quinn. I don't know what happens with him now, because it's frustrating because Blake Jarwin had the same injury and he's been on the field and been playing, and Tristan Hill is still on PUP or injury reserve. It's just frustrating because Tristan Hill does have talent to me. He showed that talent last year, and I feel like you have a better staff this year that can really coach you and get you really where you need to be, and you could be a really good piece, rotational piece in this defense. And I'm just frustrated because I'm like, we're talking about Gallimore coming back. What if you had Gallimore and Tristan Hill was coming back and he was coming back with a vengeance? Oh my God, dog. That's the frustrating thing to me right now, this Tristan Hill thing, because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if he's going to even play this year. I don't know if it's going to be a cut. I don't know what's going to happen. But that is one of the most disappointing things to me because of the way this defense is set up. He could be really good, especially with Quinn, and especially the way Quinn really, that's a frustrating thing for me.
Yeah, as many defensive tackles and dogs that you could get in the middle, man, that could rush the passer, you want to have those guys, man. I think that was the whole setup. When you kept these guys, you were like, man, if we could get all these guys running at the same time and healthy, we could keep guys fresh throughout the game, situational pass rush. You could take a guy like Golston and move him inside. Odigizua would move him inside, outside. Gallimore can rush up the middle, and D-Law and Gregory and Parsons off the edge. I mean, you have so many pieces that you can use throughout a game, and that wears on an offensive line. Uh, but the injury bug has hit us. But the saving grace, as you mentioned, man, it happened early in the season. Big game. We still have 12 more games to play. We got a bye week included in there. Guys will have an opportunity. It's just going to be about when you start getting them back. How are you going to be able to utilize them? And you got the puppet master up there, Dan Quinn. He knows how to use these guys and move them around. I expect big things, man. When guys get back healthy, I expect this defense to go to another level.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, big dog. It's going to be really interesting to see. And shout out to everybody in the building, the Reaper, Montana 808, my dog. Mentioning I forgot about, and that's what's crazy. That's what's crazy right now. I forgot about Donovan Wilson.
Right.
He was the up and coming last year. Everybody was good. Donovan Wilson down there. But guess what? When you got other players in the building like Curse and you got Hooker and you got KZ that are playing really good, it makes you think, okay, well, man, when Wilson comes in, it's just going to be a big shindig because that's just another added playmaker and a piece that you can use.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, that's what I'm excited about. When's the last time Dallas had this kind of depth, this kind of team speed on defense, this type of young team speed, young cheap team speed? As I said before, those are the makings. No matter what anybody says, Dallas has the explosive offense. They have they have the receivers, they have the tight ends, they have the offensive line, they have the running game, they have the quarterback.
Yeah, they have it all.
They have it all. We've just been waiting for the defense. We've been waiting for the defense. And people have been saying, hey, as long as we can have this defense just playing top 15, it's okay. I agree with that. But another big thing is the turnover department. Mm-hmm. That's what was the key. Being +7 in the turnover margin, because what happens is this. We saw it yesterday, Bill, and we've seen it this year. Cowboys get a quick turnover, get a quick fumble, quick strike. Cowboys, 2-3 plays, touchdown. Now that team has to change their game plan because now you're down 14. Now you can't sit there and try to run the ball. Now you got to throw it. And guess what? The Cowboys have opportunistic playmakers on defense now.
Yeah.
So when you out there throwing that ball and winging it, now you can't just throw it out there because guess what? Picks can come. Fumble sacks can come because you got a Micah Parsons coming out there still playing like an animal. He ain't even playing defensive end, and he's still getting 4 pressure, still playing like an animal in this game.
Right.
Also, Okadizua. And I think I've seen people mention Bohanna. Is he hurt? No. It's just they got so many daggone people.
Right.
He ain't getting no wreck now. You feel me?
Bohanna was out there yesterday. He was out there in the last game. Yeah.
He was out there, but he ain't going to get that wreck right now when you got Brent Urban and Carlos Watkins coming back and Osa playing lights out. He's not going to just get those reps, but he's still getting reps. But that's a good thing because he's just a rookie too, big boy rookie. So that's the great feeling I can't keep going back to. Rotation, depth, and talent.
Yeah. We've said it a long time, man. This Cowboys team, they've always been able to kind of stockpile talent. If you think about it, they've always been able to acquire that. The biggest difference on the Cowboys for me this year is the coaching staff. You got the depth and all that stuff, but I feel like we've had, certain levels of depth before, but we didn't have the coaching staff to develop those guys into better players over the years. A lot of those guys fell to the wayside. This year, these guys, man, they're out there getting after it, man. They're hungry. They want it. I mean, these guys are being led. And then another thing, big game. A lot of people don't want to talk about this, but I'm gonna bring it up.
Bring it up.
These guys actually enjoy playing with each other. Has anybody noticed that?
You seen the video that I posted on my page with Michael Parsons when he was playing like curveball when in there?
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. Go ahead.
Yeah, these guys are genuinely enjoying being around each other, playing with each other. Before we got on, I was watching, I was catching up on some of the Dallas Cowboys news, and Amari Cooper and Keanu Neal both had separate interviews after the game, and both of them highlighted it. We enjoy being around each other. Keanu Neal was talking about the relationship between him, KZ, Hooker, and one of the other guys that is new to the team. And they were saying, like we enjoy, it's work, but outside of here, we like being around one another. And there's something to be said about that, man. When you have chemistry and guys enjoy being around each other, it's like a brotherhood. These guys really want to put on for each other. So Keanu Neal looks at it like, hey, my dog out here, Malik Hooker, I'm celebrating when he makes a big play. When Trevon Diggs gets an interception, everyone on the sideline erupts. Everyone's running 100 yards down the field to go stand in the end zone. It's a big thing. And that's huge. A lot of people don't want to look into that type of stuff, but those are the things that are outside of the X's and O's of the game of football that matter. That team chemistry, guys wanting to be around each other, enjoying being around each other. It's a big thing, man. That's why everyone has this feeling something special is developing here in Dallas right now.
Oh, I mean, 100. I mean, that's 100. And shout out to my dog, Montana 808. And he says this, and I mean, right now, that's the way you kind of feel. He says, man, can no team in the NFL beat Dallas? The only thing that can beat Dallas is Dallas, period. I mean, how can you disagree with that? And this is not.
You can't.
I'm not. And I please, I'm not that guy. Y'all should already know I'm not that guy that's going to sit there and shuck and jive these Cowboys if they ain't playing good or whatever. And I ain't hyping them. I'm not going to hype no Cowboys if they ain't doing it. But man, if Dallas is playing the way they're supposed to, how are you beating them? You look at that Tampa game. That was game 1.
Yeah.
In Tampa. Dan Quinn's first game coaching with the Cowboys. First game Dak has been back in half a year. You got all these things going on, and Tampa barely wins, and they kind of get away with an offensive pass interference play. Dallas banged with them like it was nothing, and that was week 1. We don't say Dallas ain't gonna be better by week 17, man. Especially when you don't have the injuries and you're still relatively healthy.
Yeah.
Man, come on, man. This is a great mix of coordinators with Dan Quinn and Kellen Moore. That's a good mix right there between them two. Seems like they're bouncing off each other. And here's the thing, and I'm gonna agree with you with just saying with that, Billy. People love Kellen Moore. The whole team, everybody loves him.
Yeah.
And they love Dan Quinn. So not just do they love playing with each other, they love playing for the coaches.
Right.
That's huge. Because I didn't see that love for Mike Nolan. They didn't love playing for him.
They didn't like it at all.
They didn't like it at all. It was misery. But now everybody's flying. They look like you said, okay, you got a big play. I'm smacking you on the hand. You got a big play. Everybody wants to see everybody do good. And when you have that type of atmosphere in the building, when the game is over, you want to continue talking in the locker room. I played, you played. I've been in the locker room. And when it ain't good, when that game is over, everybody gets their stuff and they go.
Right.
When it's real and y'all having a good time and y'all just feeling like this is real, y'all stay in that locker room and y'all talk forever, man.
Yeah.
Y'all kick it in there. It's not a waste. Oh, what we doing after y'all meeting up afterwards, right? You keep on bonding after that. That's what I feel like is continually happening in this building, and I love it. But this young energy, I believe, helped that. I really believe this young energy with these last 2 drafts under McCarthy regime, they've been pretty good. And I believe that instilling of the young, vibrant attitude, and then you added Parsons because his personality is just different.
Contagious.
You added great piece, contagious. Just has a good making and a good formula for things to continue to happen in a good, positive way.
Big game. The only thing that I see that can slow this Cowboys team down, man, as we said, is themselves, man. But as long as these guys maintain focus and they maintain that same level of commitment to winning and to each other, this team, man, the sky's the limit, man. Because I hear these people talking about, oh, Cowboys, they're peaking too early. No, they're not peaking. They haven't even played a complete game yet.
They even came close to peaking yet.
Yeah, no. So the league is being put on notice, and I don't want them to get too. I don't want them to eat the cheese. I don't want them to get too over anxious about what's going on. Play each game as its own. Win the game, celebrate with one another, and continue to build this rapport. And I'm telling you right now, Coach McCarthy has a good hand on this football team right now. I know a lot of people want to criticize Coach McCarthy and they want to
on him. Why?
For no reason, man. For no reason. It's crazy to me because it's like they ultimately, it's like they don't, and it's the outside people. It's the media that does this. It's not
because that's crazy.
It's not the players. The players aren't saying anything. It's the media who goes out and they Oh, well, they won the game in spite of. It's the listening to the Skip Baylesses and all these clowns like that who are out here. Oh, well, my team is doing this in spite of Coach McCarthy. No, the players don't have a problem with him. It's the people who want to create a narrative, man. And we talk about this all the time. They want to create a narrative that is negative about the Cowboys that can ultimately be pinpointed if they fall short. Get rid of that. Mike McCarthy has a great hand on this football team. They're doing well. Leave the man alone. Win football games, coach. Let's keep going. It's that simple.
It's that simple. And like you said, don't listen to the noise on the outside. Don't listen to the hype, Cowboys. Don't listen to the hype. Don't listen to the own Cowboys hype. Don't listen to the Cowboys fan hype. Keep them doors closed. Keep that circle closed up in there, and don't listen to any of that noise, because that can be the distraction. That's only the distraction right now. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's the only distraction, because I wanted McCarthy to come over here. That was the first coach. As soon as they were getting rid of Jason Garrett, I said I wanted McCarthy, because I wanted somebody like Jerry Jones said. I wanted somebody with some skins. I want somebody who had been there, done that, who had already seen the mountain. They don't got to start over. You had a top quarterback. You won games with that top quarterback. Well, you can win one with Dak too, because he's a top quarterback and you got all those elements as well. So why can't it happen here? So I'm not mad. All I said was, with McCarthy, I wasn't giving him the excuse of last year, because a lot of teams went through it. But it was harder for him. But one thing I was listening to McCarthy in the offseason, he was saying he really liked how his staff had got a better grip on the virtual meetings. They were a lot better with that. He said they dropped the ball with that. He admitted, he said, we dropped the ball with that. And he said that was one of the biggest reasons why we did not do good. We dropped the ball with that. We were not in sync with that. And it really cost us in the season. And he admitted it. And I like it. I'm not saying oh, I just love Mike McCarthy. He's just the greatest coach ever. But for what Dallas needed, felt like he was a coach that Dallas needed at that point in that time. And I like the direction that he's leading it, and because he's letting the other guys kind of do their thing, and I like that. So hopefully we'll continue to see it. We got the Patriots up next. We'll talk more about that later this week, Billy. But I really appreciate you jumping on here again, talking some good Cowboys football like you know how we do. Give your plug how we do it before we get up out of here, big dog.
Guys, follow me if you don't mind. Please follow me on Twitter at Radio Guy Ray. I'm also on Instagram at Radio Guy Ray. I just love to talk to these Cowboys, man. We have something special cooking over here. Big game. We talked about it earlier before the season started. I hadn't really heard you mention much about it, man. Are you starting to at least put a little ice in your cup for the Kool-Aid, man? Or you just kind of you still staying away from it? Where are we at with that?
I mean, I told you, I was definitely drinking Dan Quinn Kool-Aid. Okay. I was drinking his Kool-Aid. But I'm gonna be honest with you. Right now, I'm still on that. Let's take it week by week. That's okay. Let's take it week by week. I feel good. I can't lie, and I feel like what I'm feeling is real. But still, let's take it week by week. Let's take it game by game.
Yeah.
And then once you get to those playoffs, because I definitely feel like the Cowboys are going to make the playoffs, win the division. Once you get there, then I'm gonna feel. Then I'll let you know how I'm really feeling. Like, okay, yeah, I feel like we can run the table. That's when I'll know I can give an answer to that.
Sure.
But to me, just like Nick says, one game at a time for me. It's just 1 week. I'm excited. I can't lie and say I'm not excited. But it's really 1 week at a time. Let's see how we're doing each week, and let's not even look past that. We got New England Patriots. It's going to be a dogfight because it's the Cowboys. You're going up to New England. It's going to be crazy. But guess what? That's another notch in the belt, because that's a team that has been a nemesis for Dallas. Brady or not, they've been a nemesis. So this is another nemesis the Cowboys can conquer in their way of trying to get their ultimate prize.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I have to agree with you, big game. I mean, we got to go game by game, and we're going to see where it takes us, man. So let's look New England in the face, and let's go to war.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm excited because I definitely feel like it's a game the Cowboys can win. Definitely feel like they can. And I'm just excited because I made a tweet Big Dog. I said I want to beat them bad. I can't tell. I can't lie. There's some teams on the schedule I'm not really tripping about, but I do want to beat them. I do want to beat the Chiefs. I do want to beat the Cardinals. There's some certain teams, but I really, really, out of all the teams this year, I really want to beat the Patriots. I'm just kind of tired of them. I'm kind of tired of them always kind of escaping Dallas. Like they haven't just been dominating Dallas. They just been escaping. It's not like
right.
Just been
barely getting by.
Yeah,
right.
They haven't just been beating up Dallas. They've been just escaping. And I feel like, you know what, it's time for that to end. And I feel like this needs to be a not just one of those 17-10 wins. I want this to be one of those like 35-13 wins. One of those another impressive. Okay, this is another. Okay, this might be the team. You get what I'm saying? This needs to be a steamroll type game for real.
Yeah, I'd agree.
So we'll see. All right, but hey, man, we appreciate everybody up in the building, man. Like I said before, shout out to my dog Billy the Kid. He's going to continue to do his thing on here with me. We're going to continue to keep bringing it like we do. We're going to do a pregame show coming up when we do this Pats game, and just continue to watch how we go about this because this is a nice little combo I like over here, and I hope y'all do too. So with that being said, Big Dog, you know how I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just end it for both of us. Hey, I know I might be wearing it out, but I love my son. How about the Cowboys, the Click Clack Cowboys? And hey, before we get off of here, can everybody give a shout out to my son? It's his birthday tomorrow. Libra Gang, it's his birthday tomorrow. He's the one that drops this song for me. He's the one that's made this song for me. So just wish him a happy birthday, kid. Just put Kid Columbus in there. Happy birthday to him. It's his birthday tomorrow. He'll be 26 years old. I'm blessed to see my son for 26 years. You know what I'm saying? I'm blessed. Nothing has ever happened. No hurt, harm, or danger has come to him or my other son. And I'm just really proud about that, and I'm proud of what he's doing. So happy birthday to my son, Marcus, and Kid Columbus. Keep doing your thing in the streets. And guess what? It's my birthday Friday. Hey, ho, my birthday's out in the house. I'll be the big 49, about to hit 50 if God allows it. So my birthday is Friday. So I definitely need a big victory to beat them Patriots. That'll be nothing better to have a birthday weekend of not just beating the Patriots, smashing the Patriots. So please, Cowboys, I don't know if you ever, any of you Cowboys are listening. Maybe you might just happen to turn on YouTube one day and see Big Game James. And please, if you listen to this video, it's my birthday weekend. Please beat the Patriots bad. You feel me?
Big Game, I'm down here in the city, man. Look, I'm going to have to swing out to the Star, man. I'm going to have to get down there and talk to somebody about it, man. I'm going to have to get over there and talk to somebody.
Yes, so for sure. And my boo thing had to hit me up. Sorry, boo thing. Have a good shout out to my girls too. Shout out to my girl Aaliyah. It was her birthday yesterday. She is 8. And
Happy
then
birthday.
Shout out to my girl Mackenzie. She is 11. Her birthday was Thursday. So shout out to my girls. We went to the roller rink. I took them out to the roller rink. We had a great time. Ate food, all that good stuff. So shout out to my little girls. My love. Shout out to my girl Natty too. I love all three of y'all. Y'all three precious in my life. I love y'all more than anything. But shout out to my Libra gang. We got a lot of Libra gangs in the house. My son Libra gang. I'm Libra gang. Aaliyah Libra gang. Kenzie Libra gang. We Libra gang up in here. So with that being said, Cowboys. Let's get this dub, Billy, and we'll be talking soon. Talk to y'all soon.
All right, my man.
Big
y'all
Gang
take
James,
care.
Billy the Kid, and we out. How about them Cowboys?
And the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys? Yeah!
How about them Cowboys? Click like Power Boys. Make you say Wild Boys from the QBs, PTs, LBs, and the Towel Boys. You tuning in to the team that win. Big game, first name James. He interviewed, he called the games. Silver blue, you know the name. From the Emmitt Smith to the Michael Irv. We beating skins, shooting birds. I see a bank will snatch it out his fur. Favorite team on the planet Earth. From Monday night to Sunday church. DJ putting in the work. I'm tuning in, no need to search. Through thick and thin and good and worse. Them Cowboys, click like Power Boys. Make you say Wild Boys from the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Towel Boys. You tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the goddamn, they did it again. How about them Cowboys? Click like Power Boys. Make you say Wild Boys from the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Towel Boys. You tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that silver and blue done did it again. them Cowboys? Click like Cowboys, make you say wow boys. From the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Cowboys. You tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the goddamn, they did it again. How about them Cowboys? Click like Cowboys, make you say wow boys. From the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Cowboys. You tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that's silver and blue.